This is Adam Podest. The purpose of this video is to show you about a new option you have for making maintenance changes in your courses online that you're a developer for. So after a Faculty Senate proposal and working with academic affairs and online operations, you can now choose to make maintenance changes right in your Canvas course. And this is a short video to show you how to do that and some of the parameters that had to be set up. So the first thing that you should do is go to the Canvas site and log in. And one of the things you'll see in your courses and groups is that you might have a course here that says Course Developer in front of it. This is your maintenance shell. This is the shell where you'll be doing the edits that you need, that you want to put into the master shell eventually. So I can just click into this course. This is one of the courses that I'm a developer for. And I have full editing access rights to this course, so there's any one of a number of things I can do. However, you might not be so lucky. You might not see a course in here that you're a course developer for. In that case, you want to click on View All or Customize, which will get you your complete list of courses that you're involved in. And there's a lot here, including past enrollments, but the ones that I'm interested in are the ones that say course developer. So I'm actually a course developer for these 4 courses, and if I want the maintenance shell to appear in my list of courses, I just have to press the star key or highlight that little star. So now that'll show up in my courses and groups next time I log in. But I'm just going to go to one of my courses now. I'm going to go to Ancient Philosophy because I know that's the one that gets everybody really excited. And I'm going to sort of see what kind of edits I want to make in it. This will just be a shortened thing, but just to give you an idea of how to make edits, say that I want to go to my lecture, Unit 2, Lecture 1, and I say, okay, there's something that changed here or something I need to improve in the section on Plato. I can just go up and click Edit, and I can make the change here. Say that I want to add something here about Socrates that hasn't been there before. I haven't really thought about the maintenance that I want to do in this course yet, so I'm just going to start out by saying that Socrates was really a great guy. And I don't know what this keystrokes is thing there. Okay, so Socrates, oops, spelled that wrong, was a really great guy. Probably do a little bit better about this in my actual course. So that's the change I want to make. I type it in there, and what they're asking us to do is to highlight it by going to the background color here. Just highlight it in yellow. And then anything else that you want to put in here, and once you've made a change and saved it, what they're asking us to do is to take the URL up here and copy it. So I'm just going to copy that link. And then, as you can see over here, I have a Word document. I'm going to open that Word document, and in order to tell the instructional designer I made a change, I'm going to take that link that I copied and just paste it in here. And for every page that you change, you need to add an additional highlight of where you're making the changes and then put a link to it. So say that I want to change something in Unit Lecture 1, and I decide that this page maybe needs a new title. I could say Unit 1, Lecture 1, the Pre-Socratic Philosophers. And then I want to say something about Greece here. I want to say there are some very special things happened in Greece in the pre-Socratic period. Change that. I want to highlight it again and make it yellow so that the instructional designer knows that's what was changed. And then I'm just going to go ahead and save that. Now, since I changed this page, I'm just going to copy it again, put it in my Word document, and basically this document will just be a big list of links for pages that you might have changed while you're doing maintenance. Okay, I'm going to save this document, and then we'll go from there. So once you've made all the changes that you want to in the maintenance shell here, and you recorded all the links in this in the Word document, then you need to go through the traditional process that you would go to in making maintenance changes. So I've got MyPark open here, and just as usual, you go to the Faculty tab, go to Park Distance Learning, All Faculty System Access, go to Course Developer Access, that's where the maintenance tracking system is here, and I'd enter that area. I don't know why I'm logged in as Tamara Tucker, that's a little strange, but the maintenance tracking, choose that. You can see here are the courses that I'm maintaining. In this case, I want to let the instructional designer know that I've made a couple of changes to my maintenance shell in PH217. So for PH217, you read down through this. Once you've made all the changes, you answer what you need to answer to the questions. For question 3, we put yes in this spot in this radio button. Then go over here to option 3.2 that says I've reviewed with attachments needed, and I click there. And what that will do is enable you to choose a file to upload. So I'm going to choose the file, and I'm going to go to my file. I think it's handy to name it the course title you're doing maintenance for, the term you're doing maintenance for, and then maintenance shell changes. So I'll choose that one, click upload, and eventually the file will be uploaded. I don't know if it's going to happen immediately or not. Okay, so once you have that there, in order to tell the instructional designer who's working with you that you've done all of the changes that you want to do for this maintenance cycle, you just click Submit Maintenance here. I'm not going to click it because I don't want to inform anyone of the horrible changes I made to this course yet. But click Submit Maintenance, and that would tell the instructional designer that all my changes are in there and they're ready to be checked over for compliance with Americans with Disability Act regulations and everything else. So I'm going to go out of this. By the way, after you submitted those changes, if there are any disagreements about you and the instructional designer, the course developer and the instructional designer, then those disagreements would be resolved by your department chair. And eventually, the maintenance shell will be free of all the yellow highlights and then just copied in to be the new master shell. So that's the short description of how you would go into your Canvas course, make the changes that you want to make, record the links that are on the pages where you're making changes. Every Canvas page has its own unique link. Paste them into a document that you'll upload into the maintenance tracking system, and then the instructional designer will take over from there. They'll just look at your highlights and see what they can do. Now, there are a couple of things that you do want to watch out for when you're changing courses, when you're doing your maintenance. There are a couple of things that, if you would change, would make things go a lot worse. So, for instance, in our modules, one of the modules is textbooks. the way that we're updating textbooks in Canvas courses now is through the textbook administration system. So unless you really know what you're doing, don't try to choose a new textbook here in the by editing it and putting it in as maintenance. That needs to be accomplished through a different system, and you would contact your instructional designer. The same thing is true if you have a core assessment or a core assessment rubric in your course. Those changes need to go through your department, and generally they'll go through the assessment committee. So you don't want to change them in Canvas, because those things need to be changed and put in the syllabus at other different places. Really important is that there are some things that you can change about assignments. So if you go into change an assignment, say Unit 1 discussion, you can see it's due January 11th, 2015 at 11:59 p.m., which is a year ago, so that's not going to be terribly accurate. But you don't want to change any of these dates. That's because they get automatically copied out and adjusted for each new term. So you don't want to change it to modify it, because that will cause things to break when they copy out the course. So you can certainly edit the details of an assignment, but it's really a good idea to check with your course developer, or sorry, your instructional designer, before you change a due date here. And finally, you might want to go in and change an assignment. Maybe I'll change the Unit 4 short essay here. If I wanted to make a change, I would just put it in and highlight it again. Copy the link, but I'm not going to make that change because I don't really want to make that change. But if you change the points for an assignment, there are a couple of places you need to worry about updating. So you could change the points, but if you do go down that route, and I wouldn't really recommend it, remember that in all of PARC's online courses, there is a module called the course overview. And the course overview is not dynamically assembled. So if you change something, you need to make sure that it's reflected in the course information module here. This is a place that sometimes people forget about, but our students do look there. And if there's disagreement between that and something else in the Canvas course, you need to make sure that they're on the right page. So the course overview, watch out and make sure that anything you update, if it has an effect on the course overview, that you do it there. Similarly, if you make any changes to any of the units, then you need to make sure that the schedule page is updated, and it can be edited just like any other page. Grading rubrics is the same thing. If you make any changes to your grading rubrics, these are copied out, so you need to make those same changes that you make here. And I think that's probably about it. So watch out for changing dates. Go through your instructional designer for that. Watch out for changing textbooks. You need to go through the textbook system in order to update a textbook. And watch out for changing core assessment assignments or core assessment rubrics, because those need to go through departments and everything before they can be put into courses. And then finally, just make sure that if you do change things elsewhere in the course, you check up in the course information area, because you want to make sure that any changes that you've made are reflecting there, so the course doesn't have two different pieces of information. Okay, so that's how you would do maintenance in the new, by doing maintenance right in your Canvas course. It's really simple to make the changes. You just want to make sure that you highlight them, copy the links, paste them into a file that you then upload into the maintenance tracking system in order to get those changes reconciled and made. And hopefully this should lead to people learning how to use Canvas a lot more efficiently when they're doing their maintenance, and make maintenance to your courses a little bit easier, something that you can do without having to write down every change you want to make in a different document. All right, I'm going to try to figure out how to sign off here. Thank you for listening.